we're live. Yeah, we're live.
We're live. Here we go. Boat time. All right. How you doing, man? Nice to see you.
I am great, my friend. How about yourself?
Good. Let's get that 1 minute of awkwardness out here. Let's get back going.
Boom.
Are you going to share it into the page?
Oh, absolutely.
We'll share the page so we can get some traction here.
Some traction, some tractor head traction.
Tractor head traction. Missed that guy.
All right. Just sharing it right now.
Just waiting for it to be shared.
Come on. You know, I normally have this stuff
ready to go.
Ready.
It's a long weekend. We'll let it slide.
All right. That is out there.
Which one did you put it in?
I put it in the Facebook page.
Why is that my end not seeing it?
And I'm going to share it on my Facebook page. Wait, what is this?
What? Oh, did I age in a month to 105 years old? That I can't.
We're both boomers now, eh?
Oh, no shit. See, what are we looking at here? Home.
Pop this chat out.
Oh, you know what? Once you
get in the gear. You know, I wish we could do this before the show starts, but for some reason, they just like us to do it on the air.
You know, just to make it more awkward for us, and you shared it.
I don't find it awkward. I'm capable of...
I do, because I'm looking for everything, and I can't find shit.
I'm capable of typing and talking at the same time.
Did you share it on your Facebook page?
I did not share it on my Facebook page. I shared it on our No Offense page. But I am trying to share it. Yes, I've got it on my Facebook page right now. Everything is shared everywhere for me.
All right, and me, I'm just going to continue to look. There we go. There we go.
All right.
We'll just share that.
All right.
Jesus Christ, man. All right, put the phone away. We'll let you run everything as you usually do. Nice to see you, man. Been a month. Nice. It's been a busy month. Been a busy month for me. Just craziness.
Yeah.
And just COVID continues to fuck us.
COVID does.
I've never seen this. Like, I hope I never see this again. The minute somebody even says lockdown, I'm starting to shoot. I'm going to start shooting.
Well, AstraZeneca has been banned. So, at least in Ontario. So, we are eligible to get our shots. I haven't gotten mine yet. How about yourself?
No, sir. Waiting for Sputnik V to come floating across the border, and then I'll tackle that bastard when it comes here. No. Yeah. Here's my question, Adam. And I asked a healthcare professional, and they did not know the answer to that.
Okay. What is that?
So I said, like, right now we're in the wheelhouse of getting our first shot.
Yep.
And they say you'll have to get a second shot within X number of months, or the first shot you'll have to start over.
Yeah.
We're not close to getting the second shot is the problem from our age group down.
Oh, really? Is that true?
It is, yes. So the older people that are due for their second vaccines, like the retirees, let's call them, they are eligible and they have those saved for them. They don't have anything for us yet. So they're like, hey,
I didn't realize that.
Just grab the first one and we'll try and get to the second one. And they're like, yeah, we don't know if we're going to be able to give you, so you might have to have 3 shots.
Huh. Shit.
So I'm like, so I got to go stand in line, possibly get COVID because we're a COVID hotbed down here, some fucking hell. And you want us to go and do, I'm like, are you fucked? Well, seriously.
If you have the vaccine, you'll be okay, right?
Oh, fuck. I'm not even anti-vaxxer. I'm anti-stupidity. I don't know if that makes sense to you. I'm anti-stupidity.
You're right. Well, they're back to what you were saying, though. I want to circle back. Is they're also saying that after your second shot, you're probably going to need a booster shot every year for some of them. I don't know about all of them. I think the Pfizer one you do, and the Moderna, I'm not sure. They're thinking you might.
Yeah, and then they're thinking, like, they're saying the AstraZeneca one's so fucking powerful that it damn near kills you the first time. Yeah. The second one, you may survive. You're probably not going to need a third one.
You shoot bleach in your arm, and you may not need a booster shot after that.
You may not need a little bit of Tide in there to just clean up the rest of the veins in there. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not anti-vaxxer. I'm going to get it. Yeah. I just want to make sure that they can tell me, like, if you book now, we'll then book your second shot for 2 months from now.
That's asking a lot. That's asking a lot.
I know. It's, it's like when you don't want to drink and drive, so you call a cab. We'll be there in a week. Okay, so I'll just chill out and I'll just drive home.
You know, my understanding was that they give you your appointment for your second vaccine.
Maybe they do, but when I was trying to book my first down here is a joke.
Yeah.
Because you call, you go online, you try and there's no appointments. You're like, the fuck is there no appointments? Then you call and they go, oh, there's no doses in your area for you to be able to book an appointment. I said, well, when's that coming? Well, we don't know.
Jeez.
And what? And like, just a pain in the ass.
What you got to do is pull the billionaire move from that story that we talked about and tell them that you live up here still.
I live up here. I probably got an old driver's license kicking around somewhere. Here you go. It's expired in 84.
Yeah.
Shut up. Just give me my goddamn shot.
It's expired in 84. Weren't you born in like 84?
83, my man.
Yeah.
83.
Yeah.
83. Or as my coworkers call it, or my young employees, was born in the 1900s.
1900s?
Yeah.
Previous century.
Thank you very much, kids. I appreciate that. You're all fired. No, yeah. So like the Ontario government brings this 3-step back.
Yeah.
So gyms can open indoors. Earliest is July 26th.
Oh, that's an interesting date.
So July 26th is the earliest. And that's if we have no snafus, and that's only number 3 of 4, I think, right? Or 2 of 3, or 3 of 4. So, and then when we actually go back to step 4, we can't even go back to full capacity like it was before. Because that means to tell me they're expecting another lockdown.
Well, what I've heard is that they're expecting this to be the last lockdown, that this is going to be the reopening, the final reopening. So that's it. But I mean, who knows, who's to say, right?
I mean, it's absolutely crazy that we're sitting here a year and a half in, and it's like, no, you're good. Like, we don't know when it's going to end. You're like, dude. And then my poor wife and I are sitting at home and we're watching sporting events in the States. And it's like the golf yesterday, the US Open, nobody had a mask on and everybody swarmed golfers. And my wife's like, where is everybody? What is this? Is this I was just only 2 years ago. I'm like, no, this is live. She's like, why are we so far behind?
Where was it?
Oh, I don't even remember. I don't even know. I was just watching golf and I just caught my eye that everybody was swarming Mickelson as he was coming out for his winning putt. But I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like UFC had the 15,000 people, hockey now all over the place, allowing fans to come in. So, I mean, that's amazing. And it sounds like Quebec is going to allow, if this hockey series, the Leafs and Canadians go to 6 games, which is next week, they're going to allow up to 2,500 people in the stadium.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
But that's Quebec. That's our next door neighbor. Literally, you drive 20 minutes from your house, you're at Quebec.
That's interesting because Quebec had the most stringent rules for a while. Because
they had the curfews and all that.
Yeah.
And they got their vaccines out because people followed the curfew and stuff.
So what
they did was they did it and they set goals and they achieved those goals. So
good,
I mean,
good for them.
What do we got over here?
Or they have surrendered.
Surrendered. They tried to invade us, but they fell asleep. No, it's just a big clusterfuck, right?
Yeah, well, I know that there are places in the States. I don't know if it's a national thing. I was reading a little bit about it. I should have probably done a little bit more homework on it before this show, but I know that there are places in the States where if you have your vaccine, you don't have to wear a mask and you don't have to, your restrictions are gone.
Yeah,
I think it might be nationally, is it? I think it was Biden was saying he wanted to do that.
The CDC, right?
I think Biden was saying it.
Yeah, if you have your 2 vaccines, mask off and go away. Just go have fun.
Do whatever you want. Which, hey man, that's cool. Like if I've got my vaccine, I should have the freedom to do whatever the fuck I want. Like
I agree with you 110%.
Yeah. So
like I don't know, man. I'm giving up. I don't give a shit. Like they finally opened up golf courses, but you can't get on a fucking golf course now for 2 months. So it's like, all right, thank you, but no thanks, right? Like you have people outside up to 5 or something. I'm like, just do what you want to do, man.
Yeah.
Just do you.
At this point, you know what? At this point, never mind even like whether or not you have the vaccine. Just let people do what they want to do. And, if they don't
That's it. Hey, man, that's it. But like, I understand like you should have like COVID safe areas. Does that make sense to you? Like, I think like maybe grocery stores should have like, there's still the max with the masks on and stuff. But like, dude, you want to go to the gym? Go to the gym. You want to do this? You want to do that? Like,
well, at this point, it's like if you're not getting the vaccine, that's your choice. You know, you can suffer those consequences.
That's
I guess there are people who are immunodeficient or whatever that can't get the vaccine. So yeah, we do have to consider those people, of course. Yeah, we don't want to exclude them. We do want to take them into consideration and protect them, of course. But
for the most part. But I mean, we could, like I said, like a COVID safe spot. Like you have to have your mask on, and we follow the strictest guidelines. But if I would have 10 people in the backyard, let's have 10 people in the backyard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's the thing that I've been saying for the last little while is my parents are vaccinated. And if I want to go up and hang out with my parents, why not? You know,
I don't understand.
Yeah. Like the people in my life who are most likely to suffer from most likely to die from this are vaccinated. So
yeah, that's it, right? You don't have any small children kicking around, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So yeah, to me, like if your parents are both vaccinated, hey man, and you want to go hang out with them, by all means, mask off and have a steak and a beer. But you don't drink, so have a steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so have a steak.
I don't drink, and I've been cutting back on the steak too. So.
What are you going? You going vegan on me?
I'm thinking about it. You know, I've been lactose intolerant my entire life, and I tried vegan ice cream for the first time this year, and it is the most delicious ice cream I've ever had, and it does not destroy my guts, most especially. So
no, bro, I understand that, but I'm just saying to you, like you can't just give up steak.
Why not?
You can't. You just can't. Like my food eats vegan food as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
right.
that's how it goes.
Yeah, you're right. I'm
a big, thick ribeye, just dry rubbed and just cooked to perfection. Mm-hmm. Oh, with a baked potato with sour cream and butter.
No butter. Butter is dairy.
Vegan butter. I don't even what's that come? I don't know.
I think that's called margarine.
Margarine is out of it. Can't believe it's not butter. Just smothered over the top of it. You know? Oh man. Mm.
Yeah, man. So what do we got today for news? I
don't know, man. You tell me. I think we already went through a pre-show, so let's go through what you have, and we'll go from there.
Where we want to start?
Let's go with. You want to go with our boy?
With Elliot Page?
Elliot Page, our boy. Do you want to start that off?
Somebody that we've kind of talked about Elliot's entire journey on this show. So
Elliot Page has already pissed me off.
Pissed you off? How has Elliot Page?
Elliot Page has pissed me off this weekend.
How did Elliot Page piss you off? What did Elliot Page possibly?
Elliot Page has come out as a male in the recent months. Within 6 months, I believe it is. Maybe 8 months, maybe 6 or 8 months.
Last year, let's say.
Last year. My guy already has a better beach ball than I ever had, and I've been at this game for 37 years.
That is right. So Elliot Page has tweeted out a topless photo of themselves, and this is on Instagram, and
tarpless photo, and he's allowed. Yeah. Now, when I seen that headline, the picture wasn't in there that I sent you. I just seen Elliot Page I clicked on it right away. I'm like, let's see what's going on. Obviously, is it a mastectomy? Like had them both cut off?
I think they just call it top surgery and bottom surgery, and
whatever.
Top surgery. Nobody really knows about bottom surgery yet. So
no, top surgery. Let's talk top surgery. And I'm like, you know what? Good job. Good for you. And then like a bit of a six pack. I was a little angry. I was a little bit pissed.
Yeah.
I'm like, great. That's great. Now next week he comes out with a thick fucking black beard. I'm gonna punch him.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw this picture, and all I can think is I would not want to fuck with Elliot Page. Elliot Page would fuck me up.
I'm not even gonna start with that one. That's an easy one. You're setting yourself up for that one.
Come on, Elliot Page is jacked. He's got this six pack and pecs and.
Yeah, but dude, like six packs on a skinny guy is like boobs on a fat chick. It just comes natural.
I guess that's true. It's not that impressive.
But like I'm like, if Elliot Page got that done, why can't I get that done? Get these titties cut down to like a nice peck, and them all nice and carved and chiseled, and go from there. Why can't I do that?
I guess you could pay to have like a 6-pack, and
I do pay for a 6-pack like every second day.
Well, that's the thing, is you got to upkeep it, and buying a 6-pack every couple of days is not gonna upkeep that 6-pack for you, buddy.
I think it's a deterrent on said 6-pack.
With that said, Elliot Page is looking good, looking
great. Like, now my question though, like, and I always come back to my girl Caitlin on this. Like, I'm joking that I'm mad. Like, good for Elliot to come out, but like, is there other women that are mad about the way that Caitlin looks? Then was there like a bit of there was some jealousy on, because she got the girls done and everything else done, and like, some people are like, what, on the side she did that Vanity Fair and was like, yeah, it's pretty good. Like, is there jealousy there? I'm
thinking there probably is. I know there's a lot, and we're not in this fight, but there's a lot of feminists who are saying like our fight. Some feminists are including trans people, and some feminists are saying that this is our fight and it doesn't include transgender people. So that's an interesting point. There would be some people that are not happy about it, though. Not me. I don't have a fight.
I don't care. Listen, I'm not going to buy the Vanity Fair. I don't buy Vanity Fair to begin with.
Yeah.
So I'm not buying Vanity Fair if Caitlin's on it, and I'm not going to buy. I don't buy Men's Health. So if Elliot Page is on Men's Health, I'm not going to buy Men's Health either. But I mean, they both look good. They seem to be healthy. Like, and they haven't really pissed anybody off yet. So, I mean, well, they pissed people off just by changing, but like, they haven't done anything to anybody else to hurt them.
On the topic of topless transgender people on Instagram, there wasn't an experiment that was done, and I never followed up on it, but a person was transitioning from male to female.
Yep.
And they were having hormonal surgery, and they were developing breasts, and they would take a picture of themselves topless every day until they were censored from Instagram, and they were no longer allowed to have those.
But that's what you want, isn't it?
It's an interesting
experiment
in society today.
Isn't that what you want?
Is it what you want?
So if you can't show female breasts on Instagram, and you slowly start putting photos up, which is great, and all of a sudden Instagram says, "Whoa, you have now hit female." That's what you're aiming for, is it not? That's your life goals in life are to become a female. Instagram just told you become a female.
Achievement unlocked, being censored as a female.
That's it right there. Right there. Boom.
I will say that the reverse conversation is true. Is perhaps it says something about society that we're taking this male-female double standard, and maybe it's outdated. Maybe we should free the nipple. Maybe we should allow women to be topless.
We're allowed to go topless in Ontario. We've been allowed to go topless in Ontario since
in Ontario, where we live, absolutely.
So then let the whole world catch up to us.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have time. Right now we're living in the past of where we're in the Stone Age, it seems, for vaccinations and things of that nature. We're already ahead of the time when it comes to being able to go topless. So if you want to go in your front yard and cut your grass with no tarp on, male or you or your girlfriend or your mother or your dad or whoever wants to go topless and cut the grass can go topless.
I agree.
Other things in the world to worry about than if I see because I guarantee I got bigger tits than half of our viewers. So to me, it doesn't even matter.
We're on board. We're both agree. If you want to go topless,
who cares?
On Instagram,
listen, I'm still going to stand behind this. Just wear your mask. Nobody will say shit. That's it.
There you go. Well, I want to live in a world where it's more offensive to go outside without your mask than it is to go outside without a top.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100% on that. We're on the same page.
All right. So I've got another story here. I don't know how much you know about this, but there's some YouTubers, Nikki and Dan Philippi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right because I have no idea who these people are, but they had a dog named Bowser.
Oh, okay. So, all right, go ahead. Continue.
Okay. Well, if you want to interrupt.
No. Just because like the way you're telling me this story, and I think I know what story you're going to. The dog's name is Bowser.
Yes.
Like the little Mario.
Yeah.
What does he look like?
He's a bull terrier. 9-year-old bull terrier.
So bulldog. Okay, continue.
So basically, what happened was the dog had bit their child.
How is their child?
Their child is just a young, very like a baby.
Okay.
And they had their dog put down because of this. And they're comparing it to Old Yeller, that they had to put this dog down. Now, there's some more details that I gotta get into. Is this dog has never been, well, I mean, there's various reports depending on what they've said. Sometimes I say he's had some aggression. Other times I say he's been nothing but an angel. So there's a bit of a discrepancy in what they've said. But when the dog bit the child, firstly, there was not a mark, and the dog was taking away the kid was taking away the dog's food, and the dog reacted to that, didn't latch on or anything like that. So I know you're a father, and
this is my wheelhouse. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber to some point. I guess I am a YouTuber.
Yeah, you are.
I have a dog.
Yes.
And I have a newborn.
This is very much in your
This is my wheelhouse right here.
So what do you think? What do you
put the dog down immediately?
You think put the dog down immediately?
Immediately.
Really?
When it comes to an animal and a human life, you have to choose the human life no matter what the situation is. Now, my point may not be it, but like we had the conversation because my dog has been a single dog for 3 years of his life. Like mom and dad, spoiled dog, like there's like first brought the kid home, first brought Felix home. It was like introduce them slowly.
But that's that's how you responsibly handle this.
That's it. Okay, now let the dog smell. Let the dog do this. Let the dog do that. Now we wouldn't put ourselves in the situation where Kessel would have to be put down. We're always two eyes. We know what's going on. We know where the dog is. We know where the kid is at all times. Okay. Now, Felix isn't crawling yet, so we can't. I'm not quite there, but 100%, I don't give a shit who it is. Is that if it's just like if a dog is walking down the street and bites a child, the dog gets put down.
I don't know. If the dog's aggressive. I don't know. Like I agree. My first reaction when I heard this story was, if a dog is biting a child, that dog needs to be put down. Absolutely. But in a situation where it's like the dog is getting agitated by the kid, or the dog, like the kid is taking the food away, or the kid is unsupervised, or there's steps.
Okay. So here's where I'll agree. Here's where I agree with you. I don't want to put my dog down. I love my dog.
Yeah.
I would look at different avenues to somebody to take my dog. I honestly would. I'd be like, listen, it was a one-off. It wasn't this, it wasn't that. But now I'm going to step a little farther, and I'm going to say, let's put the parents down.
Put the parents down. Okay.
Well, no, because now you're putting your child in danger.
Yes.
As well as your other animal. So my dog is my child. Basically, Kessel's my kid as much as Felix is. One of my children are going to fight. I'm understanding of that. Kessel will rip them apart. So I don't want to put them in that situation. No. But as parents, you have to be watching the situation. If not, the parent should A, never be allowed to have a dog again.
No.
2, that child should be taken away because they'll put that dog down, and they're so goddamn stupid, I'll call it right now, next week, or probably now, they probably already have another dog, or they're looking at another dog. And they'll go, this one will be different. But because they're absolutely ridiculous.
Well, put the parents down. I think we both agree on one thing is this is the parents' fault. I think that
absolutely, like when we own things, when we have ownership of things such as an animal, we are in control of that animal's, whatever that animal does.
Yeah. Okay.
If that animal goes and bites a fucking goddamn porcupine and comes back we got to bring it to the vet and get those removed. Why? Because my dog's an idiot and I wasn't paying attention.
Well, I'll say this. I was in a household with a dog that was the kindest, most gentle dog in the world. And I was a child. I mean, not a young child, but even I was taught, when that dog is eating, you do not take that food away from that dog.
Never. Like, what's the point?
Well, and there you go. So that's going to trigger something in that dog. The dog could be perfectly, docile, calm, and whatever. But if anyone, whether it's an adult, a child, or whatever, takes food away from a dog, there's going to be a reaction. Now, this dog didn't maul the kid. It didn't latch on and bite.
Probably was like, and then give a little bite, like a bark, and maybe a nip.
Gave a little nip. Apparently, the dog, there was a mark, but the kid was unharmed, is what I'm being told. And
then the parents now that tells me that the parents put a dog down just for views and clicks.
Well, and that's what a lot of people are saying is they have like it's interesting you say that because I haven't told you very much about the story, but what they did before they put the dog down was they took like
they put a video up, those stupid cunts.
Well, they did do a video saying they were going to do it, but they also did a sympathy photo shoot with the dog, and they're holding the kid that was apparently attacked by the dog, and they put this up on Instagram, this whole photo shoot of this dog is going to be put down for attacking this kid. I don't even know I can't even wrap my head around it.
Let's put the parents down.
Well, and so furthermore, you said what you would do is maybe find a spot to rehome this. Hey, this dog can't be around kids, which I think is still a bit of a stretch personally. But if this dog can't be around kids, what they claim is they spoke with the Humane Society and they tried to rehome the dog, and the Humane Society said because of its past aggression, it absolutely cannot be rehomed. It needs to be put down. However, once this was looked into, once this got on the internet, people called the Humane Society and said, this doesn't sound right to me. And they said, we have no record of this case whatsoever. That conversation did not happen. So these YouTubers have just made this story up.
Just for likes. Just for clicks, man. Here's you and I working hard to get views and likes.
Absolutely.
Swear and curse. And these guys are putting a dog down.
They're putting a dog down for clicks. Yeah, well, bottom line is these people are pieces of shit. I think we can both agree that.
Absolutely. And they're the worst kind of human being.
They are the worst kind of human beings.
A poor dog. That like now this dog, if the dog, and this is where I'll go back to the beginning. If the dog attacks a child and the child is like scarred up and stuff like that, dog is dead.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll kill the dog. I'll kill the dog.
No question.
That poor little bastard, that poor little dog was probably like the kid was crawling around and was just like fucking poking him. And then the guy goes, I'll just go eat food. I'll relax. The dog didn't probably walk away. Kid rolls up, snacks the food. Dog gives a quick yip. Just a little bit of a mark. Like
a little warning, like, hey, fuck off. This is my food.
So are these the same people that are going to burn their house down when the kid falls down the fucking steps because they weren't watching them?
I get, that logic holds up, right? I mean, according to their logic, that's what they'd have to do. They're irresponsible. Maybe they definitely shouldn't have a dog. And maybe you're right. You said it. You hit the nail on the head. They shouldn't have a kid either.
No, dude, like it doesn't matter who the dog is. Like if you go to your buddy's house and your buddy's like, the dog doesn't like too many people, last thing I'm going to do is start smacking it around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll just stay away. Hey, no problem, buddy. I got you. I'll stay away.
Yeah. Well, they've even put on videos of their dog being aggressive in the past where towards other dogs, where what they'll do is they'll pick up their smaller dog and like put it in the dog's face, and the dog will bark at the other dog, and the dog kind of like shies away, and then finally barks back and like is aggressive back. So they're almost training their dog to be aggressive. It's timid and docile until they're putting it in this aggressive situation where it has to react.
So aggressive barking, is that a thing?
Well, I mean, aggressive barking.
Like, does that mean they should have put me back down when I was in my 20s when somebody got right into my grill and started chirping me, and then they tried to bite me, and I gave them a little poke, and they got a little red in the face?
I don't think that's how that works. They
same thing.
Yeah. Well, one thing's for sure though. These YouTubers, their names are Nikki and Dan Philippi, or however the fuck they say their name.
Who cares about their last name? Fuck those people. Exactly. Fuck them. That's what those are the assholes of the day. Like, fuck those guys.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Like, absolutely. I'm so fucking tired of people. I'm just tired of dummies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, there are people out in this world who want a dog who know better because they have a small ass apartment. Like, I want a dog, but I can't get a dog, so I get a cat. I just want an animal at home. I can't get a dog because I have a small apartment. I want a dog. I'll get a cat. And these guys are like, oh, yeah, let them around my kids. Like, what the fuck were they doing?
Yeah. Keep an eye on your dog.
But that's got to be in America, eh?
Yeah, that's in Nashville, actually.
So I don't know what their dog laws are like. I know in Canada we got some strict ones.
Do we? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like the animal will go into quarantine for 20 days. Everybody gets called in. They do an investigation on everything. They do an investigation on the people, the living conditions. The children are involved, and CAS is involved, and oh fuck, it's all this kind of crazy shit. Because we want to take care of everybody. In Canada, I shoot you in Canada. I probably I go, yeah, pissed me off. It was an accident. They go 10 years. I shoot a dog. I'm done.
Really?
Like 15. Oh, dude, we have such strict animal laws here.
Really? I didn't know that. I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of thought you could put a dog down for any reason.
No, you should get caught shooting a dog for no reason. You're going to go down too.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's good.
We protect animals here.
That's good. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. All right, man. So we've got next story here is, well, Joe Rogan. Have you seen this story? Joe Rogan.
I watched a couple of times. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed what he said.
Yeah.
So tell everybody what it is first.
Well, we got to recap. He was on his show. What seems to be happening with Joe Rogan is he kind of like us, puts his foot in his mouth, says a bunch of stuff, and then people get outraged. What's going on this time is he had a guest on and he said, we can't keep catering to this cancel culture. People are always hunting. They're always looking for something to be outraged about. Eventually it'll get so bad that white men aren't even allowed to talk. Straight white men can't say anything. We won't even be allowed to be outside because we've always had the privilege of being outside, and they're going to take that away from us because it's cultural appropriation. I don't even really know what he was trying to get at. Some pretty hyperbolic statements there.
I'll double down on that. I agree with Rogie.
You agree with him? What do you
agree
mean?
with him. Just go to the extreme of everything.
Okay.
And then we say, fuck. And then we say it can't happen. It won't get that far. Whatever. Dude, we locked down for 2 weeks 2 years ago, for fuck's sakes, it seems.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's the extreme.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, we were a 2-week shutdown. Yeah. Well, I disagree, though. I think that, I think Joe Rogan's being a little bit hyperbolic. I think he's making a joke. He's saying if we keep letting this happen, it'll get this bad and this bad. And of course, those are things that are not actually going to happen. He's making up some scenario.
You don't think they're going to happen. But if Joe Rogan is losing jobs because he's an outspoken male, Joe Rogan doesn't have to do comedy anymore. He doesn't have to go on the road. He's making enough money off Spotify and the UFC. He's fine. But if his comedian friends are losing money that are white and they're straight because they're not diverse enough, it happens. But another thing too is that Joe Rogan and everybody else in the world, when your news outlets are in two of the biggest liberal states in the world, that's all you're going to get is liberal news. Like CNN, I don't even know why CNN's so liberal. They're in Georgia.
That's a chicken and egg scenario. I think that
everybody's afraid, but you're getting all your
news out of two liberal states like New York and California, or are California and New York the places where business congregates, and where business congregates tends to be a more liberal area?
I think that's what they're doing, is they're saying that in California and New York, if you're a straight male, you probably won't be able to walk around. You'll have
that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
My words. We've talked about things before that sound ridiculous. They happen.
That's not going to happen. They're not going to make a law against white males walking the streets. That's not going to happen.
I guarantee they will.
I guarantee they won't. And I'm not saying I guarantee hyperbolically like you are. I'm saying I guarantee they won't. Literally, that will not happen.
They won't make a law, but you know what's going to happen is that if you're a white male in certain areas, you're going to get shot the minute you go outside.
Well, you can't shoot people. You're not allowed to shoot people for leaving the house.
You're still going to do it.
Then they're going to get arrested.
Yeah, you think that way. You watch.
That's not going to happen.
I'm telling you right now.
That's a strange view of the world, and I disagree with it entirely. I think that, sure, I get what he's saying, and it's hard to sympathize with a guy who's saying, "Oh, the straight white men are oppressed." And I get what he's saying is that cancel culture is coming for the straight white male, and maybe it sucks to be.
Okay, hang on. Are they coming after white? Like, people think
that's what you're saying. You're saying that the straight white male is not going to be able to walk the street, and I'm saying that's not true.
Well, I guarantee in California, New York, they won't be able to.
But I am backing up my point a little bit and saying, okay, I'll concede that sure, straight white males they're getting a little bit uncomfortable lately. They're having a little bit of people going after them. But
the guys on the right are getting uncomfortable. When you got like Como and a bunch of guys over on the left, they're fine.
I don't think that's true. I think that they've come for both left and right at the same time. There's plenty of left, what's his name? The director,
Harvey Weinstein.
Weinstein's the most liberal motherfucker. So the straight white males are
He's
having
a
people
rapist.
go, yeah, okay. And he's a liberal too. So you can't tell me that liberals are not going.
No.
Bill Cosby's not white, but Bill Cosby's a liberal too. He was gone after.
Rapist.
Yeah.
But they're going after now of whatever white man says, they're going after. Like, that's what you don't understand. Like, how the hell we're going to get demonetized? We're not even monetized now by YouTube, but we're going to get demonetized. And then they're going to tell us, you know what, just go. I don't even know where you can go anymore. Just go into a world that doesn't exist yet. And that's what you're going to have to do. Like, I honestly think the white men are fucked.
Well, the next one I was going to say was Louis C.K. And Louis C.K. has returned to the internet. He's actually.
But listen to me. Like, he should not be.
Okay.
He literally pulled. Louis C.K. Is he not the one who pulled his dick out, jizzed on a ficus in front of a fucking female intern? Is that what I'm thinking it is? Is that what Louis C.K. did?
He just jerked off in front of some people, and I don't know. There's
unwarranted, man, dude. Listen. I say outrageous shit all the time. I don't even know how I haven't been canceled.
Okay.
I don't. But like, when you're doing sexual things, you're a sexual predator.
Yeah.
Like they don't. It's not only white males, but okay.
Okay, so we agree. If you're a sexual predator, you should have somebody go after you.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, okay. But what I'm saying is it'll never get to the point where just speaking, you won't be allowed to go outside. Just being a white male, you won't be allowed to go outside. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that what I was saying before we got into this tangent is that, yeah, white males are having people go after them.
But that's just
Let me finish this point. I've been trying for a long time to finish this point. Yes, I'm saying that no, it's never going to get to the point where white males can't go outside. But I will concede that, yeah, straight white males are having people go after them a little bit. It's getting a little bit more uncomfortable for them. However, it's nowhere near as bad as other people, women, minorities. It's nowhere near as bad as they've had it in the past.
I'm going to agree with you today. Okay, perfect. But yet again, when do we stop paying? When do you and I'm going to use this as white males, stop paying for the other cocksuckers? Why can't we just, like, we're all getting like, oh, white males. Listen here, man. I'm a white male. I understand I'm a white male. I get hate all the time. I'm okay. But like, why are we having to pay for what other people are doing? Does that make sense to you?
I don't think we are having to pay for what other people are doing. I don't know what you mean by that. Like, how do you say that?
Like, we're white males, so we're automatically, these two white guys, these two white males, like they're just typical white males. You and I are not typical white males. We're we treat everybody equally for the most part.
Sure.
I treat a dick like a dick. Like, if you're a dick to me. I don't give a fuck who you are. But like, why the fuck do we have to worry? If you're just a regular human being, you shouldn't have to worry. But I see where Rogan is coming from. Is where if a white male says the exact same thing, if Chappelle and Rogan told the same joke, but it was a race joke and they just switched the colors, Rogan's fucked, Chappelle gets a walk.
Well, maybe that's good.
What?
Maybe that's good. Maybe a white guy shouldn't be pointing out what a black guy can or can't do, or what maybe a perspective. Maybe that's a perspective that a white guy. How do I say it? There are jokes that a black guy can say that a white guy maybe shouldn't. Am I wrong for saying that?
No, absolutely. Like, if you're going to say stuff like drop N-bombs, I can't drop an N-bomb.
Yeah, and that's an extreme example. But there's other stories about talking about a black person's experience in the world. Maybe a white person isn't the one that should be pointing that out. Maybe it should be somebody representative of that culture.
But that's what I'm saying is that, like, but Chappelle could say a racist joke about white people. And then, like, literally, like, he could say, like, a white guy walked in through the whatever it is. And then Rogan could say, a black person, Rogan's fucked, Chappelle gets a walk.
Yeah. And there's a lot of reasons why I can understand why that would happen.
And you're just saying, like, going out into the world as a white man, it's not illegal. But that's just in North America. So I know right now in Africa, in Southern Africa, they are having issues with white people dying by mass genocides and things of that nature. But we won't talk about that until it comes to the forefront.
Well, I don't know very much about.
Yeah, I know a lot. I know enough about it. I don't want to put anybody feeling awkward, but I hope it doesn't. I just want to be in a world where we're all like, if you're a dick, you're a dick. Like, we all hate Louis C. We should all hate Louis C.K. We should all hate not Joe Rogan. We should all hate Bill Cosby, all these guys, Epstein, all these guys. We should really hate all these guys.
Sure. I agree with that. I have thoughts on your point about why it's okay for Dave Chappelle to make fun of white people and why it's not okay for Joe Rogan to make fun of black people, but maybe we'll save that for another day.
Perfect. That sounds like a good idea. Let me get a little bit more fired up later on.
Okay.
What else?
What are you looking at? You keep looking over there. Is there somebody else in the room or?
Yeah, there is.
I don't know what you're looking. Oh,
watching a hockey game.
You're watching TV while you're doing this?
Yeah, I'm watching the Leafs playoff game. Fuck
wow, look at this multitasker.
Yeah, well, dude, awesome. I got two TVs as well down here. So,
and we got Tractor Head in the comments. He says Coca-Cola held a seminar to its employees on how to be less white. That's pretty messed up. Also, California deemed Caitlyn Jenner not trans enough. Look at that.
I love Coca-Cola.
There you go.
No, you want to talk about, that's right, the transgender movement with Caitlyn Jenner, saying on how if you're a male transitioning to a female, you should still have to play male sports, double down on that and got hate. That's why she's not transgender. Yeah. Do
you want to talk about that?
You want to talk about that? Like, to me, like, thanks for bringing that up, Tractor Head. Maybe we could tag that in with the Elliot Page stuff.
Sure.
So it's true. So I think it's
Caitlyn Jenner said to TMZ, they were asked, what do you think about athletes, transgender athletes? And she said that I believe that there's a division, and the division, there's a reason for that division, why males should compete with males and females should compete with females. And she used the term biological females should compete with females and biological males should compete with males. If I'm remembering her correctly, that's about what she said.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
I agree with that 100%. Here's my thing. So it looks like I'm going to use Conor McGregor as an example because he's in the news right now.
Sure.
July 10th, he's fighting his third fight in the series. If he loses this fight and Dana White goes, "You're done," he goes, "I'll go to Bellator." He converses to a female, says, "I am now a female." He will destroy everybody.
Yeah.
Even on estrogen, he will kill everybody.
Yeah. Well, I've made the comparison plenty of times. Almost every time this conversation comes up, is Brock Lesnar transitions to a male or a female, he still fucking kills Brock everybody. Lesnar. Yeah.
He's going to kill everybody. Oh,
yeah.
That doesn't look good.
So with that said, I think that it's fair to say that someone born a female should not be competing with males, and someone born a male should not be competing with females.
Correct. Now let's talk about like sports where but if it's a sport that doesn't like curling, bowling, like I don't think like the gender doesn't help you a lot there. Chess and things to that nature.
It's interesting. Well, I mean, chess is not a sport. It's more of a game.
You know what? I don't want chess players to come at us. I'm just going to call chess a sport. But you know what I mean, though? Like, you don't, like esports, like Call of Duty and things like that. Like, if you're good at that, you're good at that. But, like, listen, man, I don't want to watch, and female hockey's getting a push right now. I don't want to see, like, a female, like Dr. Wickenheiser, who's old now, retired, go against Zdeno Chara, who's 6'9". Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, let me ask you this: is if in the UFC, testosterone replacement therapy is not allowed. So if a person reaches in their 40s and etc., they start to lose their testosterone over time, especially if they've used steroids, but let's leave that off the table for now. Once they reach a certain age, they start to drop in testosterone. Replacing that testosterone is not allowed. So should it be allowed if you're transitioning from female to male? No, I agree. So we can't really have, if fucking with your hormones is not allowed, then fucking with your hormones is not allowed, right?
That's it. You know what? Yeah, let's agree on that. Yeah. But like, if you're transitioning from a female to a male, like, I don't know what sport you want to play in, my friend.
Yeah.
Now, like females, when you're doing it, like you're looking for the more feminine side. I don't see you going up against a 300-pound lineman in the NFL. I don't. This is probably not in your wheelhouse. I may see you hitting a tennis ball against, Rafael Nadal or Serena Williams. I do. But these guys who are males transitioning to females is my issue. If a female wants to go and try and switch over and go and try and fight Brock Lesnar, listen, you're probably going to get your face punched in.
Well, let's hold off on that, because one of the other things that's been pointed out is that females tend to have higher bone density than men. The estrogen preserves their bone density. So if you're going to get hit by a harder bone and suddenly they have the frame of a male with the bone density of a female, perhaps that's an advantage too.
Genetically, we're all built like men are built differently. Like, does that make sense?
Men are built differently.
Like, we're built for ruggedness. Like we don't have the hip bearing bones and the beauty.
Sure.
We have the ruggedly deep voice and the awesome beards. That's what we got.
But what I'm saying is, if a female whose bone density there's more bone density because of the estrogen, right?
Yeah.
They've preserved their bone density for a longer period of time. Then they transition to male and they get the muscle from using testosterone. They've got the same amount of muscle as you.
So you're saying to me, if a female switches to become a male and then goes to 155 and fights Conor McGregor, the female has a good chance to win?
It's possible. I don't really know. These are questions that we have to ask because, like I've said, the issue is estrogen preserves bone density. So if
I think you get osteoporosis, right? Like in females.
That is why women eventually do develop osteoporosis, is because density eventually translates into brittleness. If your bone, if that's something, as a machinist, I understand all this is, I'm sure you do too, is if something gets too dense, it becomes brittle. But before that stage, when you're, a young person, you can have a more dense bone structure, which means a stronger bone structure. And then you couple that with male's muscle skeleture. Now they've got the muscle of a man and the density of a woman. Suddenly, perhaps they have another advantage. There's another advantage that's not as obvious as everyone has seen in the other side of the equation. So these are all questions that I don't want to be transphobic. I hope I'm not coming off as transphobic, but I think that what I want to say is if somebody wants to identify as male or female, absolutely, I will respect that. But once they start competing with somebody, suddenly it's a different playing field. And that's something that has a lot of questions that maybe we have to ask.
But then another thing too is, like, when we're talking about sports, the people who are chiming in on sports should be, multi-gender, da. Like, you don't know, because you don't watch it on a daily basis, what people say already about male sports athletes. They don't like watching hockey right now. You go, oh wow, Tom Wilson is a lot bigger than Brad Marchand. He'll kill him. You're like, to you, those two names mean nothing. But that's to me, like, they just say like two guys are going to beat the piss out of each other, and that's how it is. Then you're going to go, okay, so we're going to get Elliot Page. I'll use that as an example because we talked about him today. He's going to go and fight Conor McGregor at 155. Conor McGregor's going to kick the living hell out of him, and they go, well, it wasn't a fair fight because, he wasn't trained. He was a female, like but they'll say, we give him like kudos for jumping into the ring, but like should not be even close to that. Like should not even be anywhere close to the ring to fight with them.
I'm not sure I understand the point you're trying to make, though.
What I'm saying is that you should not be playing sports as a transgender athlete because you could and the one that I really don't like is that when it's a male and they switch to a female sport, because like the 25 years you had at producing muscle and using every advantage you had to be a great athlete, you're just going to go into a female sport now and dominate. You know what I mean? Like a male going into Brock Lesnar in college going, you know what? I want an NCAA championship. I'm now going to go and switch genders and I'm going to go fight no female. He's going to dominate.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with Caitlin on this one. I don't think we should have it.
Yeah, I agree with Caitlin as well. The only argument that I could see, I mean, I don't know. So what do we do to include transgender people? Do we need to have a transgender league?
Make it open league so you know what you're getting into.
An open league. That's an interesting idea.
Make an open league so you can say, hey, listen, let's use boxing or fighting as an example. Hey, this is an open league. Male, female, whatever you identify as, you go in here, and then you just got to fight in your weight class. That's it. You go ahead. Do whatever you want to do.
That's an interesting idea, is we could have three separate divisions. There's a female division for those who want to compete with females, a male division for those who want to compete with males, and then an open division where perhaps.
But then if Brock Lesnar identifies as a female and then walks in and rolls over a dude, you're like, it just opens up a can of, it just starts losing its validity, right?
Again, we would stick to, you have to have been born that gender to get into the female or to get into the male genders. And then the open one is, we're not going to restrict anyone. That's an interesting idea. I think that's a fair compromise. Yeah, I think I can get on board with that.
Like an open division, but like, I don't know, like that's the only thing I can think of, because at least you know what you're getting into. And if you want to put yourself in that situation, you put yourself in that situation.
Well, and then the other argument would be just get rid of all gender restrictions. But if we do that, perhaps female athletics would just disappear in that case. I mean, I hate to say it, but you're not going to have, a female hockey division or a female basketball division.
That's and that was one of the things they said. They was like, I think it was Chappelle said, like, so if LeBron James decides he wants to go play in the WNBA after his career's done, and says he can't, he just says identifies as a female, walks in and dominates the league and breaks every record.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do.
What happens then? And I don't think anything good happens there.
Nothing good happens there.
Yeah. These are all very, very difficult. These are all very difficult conversations to have.
Until somebody has the gusto to step up and fight a transgender till it happens, we can't say anything. It's all wishy-washy right now until we literally watch somebody get dominated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, there have been stories of males who have transitioned to females who have beaten up women,
just destroyed them.
Yeah, and beaten weightlifting records and things like that.
And track stars right now in the States are mad because kids who are making their college numbers to get a free scholarship in high school right now for NCAA are saying, well, then I'm changing to female, and they're getting their parents to go down, sign off on them being female, going female, growing their hair out, and then taking a few estrogens, and then going in and destroying all these female track records, and all these females can't get scholarships anymore because the males are just dropping down.
Oh wow, that's an interesting. I didn't know that. That's an interesting.
Yeah. So that's kind of where. Yeah, that's kind of where. That's where it came up, was because these kids who can't make a Division I, they only make Division II or Division III. They go, if you're a female, you do it. They go, I'll be back next year. Boom, I'm a female. Here's what I'm taking. Here's my long hair. I've got a clean shave. I'm gonna go race I'm gonna be Usain Bolt out there. Yeah. I'll start smashing records.
Well, I think we both agree kind of on this. I'm still struggling to find a way to accept a transgender person's identity, but also respect the fact that you're born with certain advantages that you can't eliminate through surgeries. I think that's a fair way to say it, right?
It's true. It is true.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to another story. You mentioned this is Demi Lovato is now non-binary. They are using the pronouns they and them.
They and them.
They and them.
This is one where I'm going to tread very lightly.
Okay.
I don't know. Demi Lovato came out and said had brain damage from her last overdose. She went to rehab, cleaned up, then came back and said them.
I don't think those two things are related, though.
Well, they're saying they are related.
Who is saying that they're related?
Everybody, the liberal side and the right,
really
are saying that. Yeah, because you have brain damage. You're saying that, like, once you say you have brain damage and then you go and do this, the rights are the far right idiots are like, yeah, this and this. I'm like, listen, I don't care what Demi Lovato is. I don't.
Sure.
If it's them, I may fuck it up. I may go, you know what? She's looking good. They go, them. Okay, they're looking good. Yeah. That's what I'm afraid of. I don't care. I really don't. Like, listen, but don't tell people. Don't go out and like use the platform you have. And it's a massive platform. She has one of the biggest platforms in the world. And she decides to like come out and support them and do what you can for them. Don't come out and say, well, now I am. I just told you last week I had brain damage. Now I'm telling you I want to pronoun as them. And I'm like, ooh. Like you got to kind of ease into that. Now, if you're going to use your music and your platform to help them, I recommend doing that. But I don't think that they will.
But I mean, what if they have always felt that they were non-binary? They're just sort of discovering it now and realizing it.
Yeah, and there's times when she's used her sexuality as a female to get ahead in the world, and she's said she's used it. So I mean, if you know Demi Lovato from back in the day, like Demi Lovato's used her sexuality said she has to get what she wants. So
isn't that sort of the definition of non-binary? Is sometimes you're very female and sometimes you're very male.
I don't know the definition of binary. I just know that whatever you want me to tell you, whatever you want me to call you by, you come out tomorrow and you say your name's Christina, I'm going to call you Christina. I don't care.
Well, binary is actually a computer language. It's on and off, ones and zeros. So in the context of gender, binary would be male or female. You're either one or the other. You're on or off. So non-binary is you're sort of fluid. You can go between one or the other.
Ah, okay. So you could just say I'm non-binary. I use them or they, and you could just like wake up, go, you know what? I want to wear cowboy boots and cowboy hat and have a pack of liquor. On the next day, go, I want to put a dress on and wear a skirt and go to a play.
Yeah, sure.
Mind you, males like going to plays. I like going to plays, so I'm not calling anybody out on that. But
sure, yeah. The whole idea is that Demi Lovato is saying they're not restricted by gender at this point anymore. They're fluid. They would like to be both.
We'll see how long this lasts.
Well, if this is what they are saying they identify as, why can't you? Because
I'll accept it. I don't think that they will. I think this will be a fad for them.
Oh, come on! You can't.
I'm telling you right now, Demi Lovato will come out in 4 months from now and say I'm a female.
I don't know about that. I'm not saying I
personally don't like Demi Lovato. I'm going to say that right now.
Why don't you like Demi Lovato? This might be the root of the conversation that we're getting into. She was rude. She's a rude human being.
Okay. She's used and I feel bad for her because she struggled with drugs and alcohol and she's had overdoses and seizures and things of that nature. And I feel bad, but she was a horrible human being. If you YouTube her on I think it was The Voice or one of those talent shows, she's a stupid. You just go on YouTube, TikTok. She's a horrible human being. I can just go on what people say about her or them say about them, and that's what I got to go with. Is that she's a horrible and rude human being.
Do you have specific examples of terrible things that they
just go to
done?
YouTube? Like they're rude to their fans. They've told people off. They've done all kinds of stupid stuff like that. They're just a rude human being. So
that's sad. All I'm gonna say is, I don't know what this person is personally. I don't know a whole lot about Demi Lovato. I don't listen to their music, but if they identify as trans or non-binary, I'm going to respect that. I don't think it's going to be a fad. They did have an interesting quote that is a little bit deep that I thought was pretty cool and worth repeating. Is they felt that gender is just a boundary that separates humanity from divine wisdom, and that, sometimes it can get between people connecting to each other, and maybe it's not that important. I thought that was a pretty cool quote.
You know what? That's a great quote, man. You know what? It's kind of true. It is. Yeah. If you look at it, it is true. But I mean, religion's also in there as well. But I understand 100% what they're going through. So I mean, I'll support them. But if they double back, just get rid of Demi Lovato.
All right, I think we'll end it on that. You sent me a story about Adrian's kickback. What can you tell me about this?
Dude, let's talk about this. Okay, this will probably be the last one for the day, folks. So let's have a little fun with this. Adam, has there ever been a time in your life that you were invited to a party, had a party, or were in the area of a party and it just got fucking out of hand? I mean ridiculously, if they made a movie about that night. I've been to a few. I've had one that I was thinking about this when I sent that to you. I had one on a heritage festival, 50 people at my house. You were there. I wasn't even there.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
I was out. I'm like, Dad, maybe like 50 or 60 people at your house. I'm like, I wasn't even home.
Huh.
Oh yeah, you did. I'm like, all right. I hope everybody had a good time, and everybody's gone by the time I got back.
I know I've had some bangers in my time. I've gone to some fucking bangers in my time. I had quite a few parties that I
I've
can't
gone to
even
some
really
bangers.
repeat. But yeah, man, we've had some
No,
wild
dude,
times.
I've been to some. Yes, I've been to some where it's like invite one guy, and
Yeah.
this is us. Like this is us. Like what 99 and 98, 99? Like young kids. We're young. Like we're 17.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean,
like
I've
all we
got
had back then was like ICQ, MSN, school, and a telephone that was connected to your parents' hip. Like the phone, like the phone was literally by like a parent's side of the couch, so they could answer the phone. Like that's the only phone we had.
yeah, man.
And like, dude, we've had some parties. Like, we've had parties where invite 5 or 6 people, 100 people show up.
Mhm.
We've had bush parties that were successful. Just 8 or 10 of us, 60 people showed up. You know what I mean? Like we've been to parties where it's been all out chaos. Our grad party. Were you at our grad party when that house burnt down?
I've been to a few grad parties. I don't know if I was at one with you, but I've been to several grad parties. Whether it was,
That one?
I don't
know
know.
it was because me, you, and Ty walked all the way down. I think it was me and Ty. We drank all the way down, and then we ended up getting on a bus and they burnt the house down.
I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway,
Dude, this kid, his birthday party wanted to have a few people over. His name again? What's his name again?
Adrian.
Adrian wanted to have a few people. A few.
I like that this is your story, and I have to tell you the facts of it.
Well, because it's funny to me. Then it went on to TikTok, and it grew and blew up. Now, to me, it looked like a great time. They were jumping on cop cars. From what I can understand, is it looked crazy in the videos that got posted, but that was only about a half hour of craziness, and then it got shut down. And there was some damage, but not crazy damage. Not like what was it, Party X or whatever that movie was called?
Oh, Project X.
Project X.
Which is an interesting name for a party because it's actually a straight edge band that I'm pretty into. But anyway, this actually happened at Huntington Beach. I've been to Huntington Beach. It's a pretty cool spot. I went there in California back in the day. It looks like shit got out of hand and the cops had to bust this shit up. It didn't go too far. Apparently TikTok got a hold of it and he's posted on Snapchat and then TikTok got a hold of it and they went viral, invited everybody there and things got out of hand.
How fun is that though?
That's pretty cool.
Like, you know what though? Like if you're 17, you're never going to have a bigger party than that.
Yeah.
But legit, like I guarantee the cops are going to write that day down. Okay, let's go talk to this fucking guy. And but like if you had a party that big and shit got out of hand, would you not be like it's on your ass, like that's your fault? Like would you not be held responsible?
I don't think you can be held responsible for that, especially if it's not on your property, right? Huntington Beach is a public beach.
Public beach, you could say 6 of us went down and 10,000 people showed up and we had what do they call it? A flicker or whatever. Like what do they call it? They didn't call it a banger. They called it a...
I don't know. I called it a banger. I don't know what you call it.
They called it something else. They called it something else for putting your feet up. I'm like, what? That's a banger. That's a good time right there. That's an average Saturday night for JM. But I mean...
So what's the craziest party you've ever had or been to?
I'm not
got any crazy stories of things?
Like there's always crazy stories. Like I've been to parties where and some of them I've been into, like especially pit parties. Like we've done a lot of pit parties and stuff. I literally watched a guy literally have a can of gas and then they poured it on the fire and then his drunken buddy was like, whoa, man, just you shouldn't have it there because somebody just trip on it, make the fire real big and kicked it and it was open and the flame shot in the air and burnt somebody. And I've been to a couple of those. I've been to a complete house getting destroyed, literally house getting wrecked. Mm-hmm. I've been to one of those. I've been to all kinds, man. I've been to some massive parties where I'm like, this is going to get out of hand and everything was cool. You know what I mean? You get some of those where it's like, wow.
I'll be honest. There was a good run from about 14 to about 25 where it was just nonstop wild parties for me. Like I
Wow,
remember, I
dude.
remember Devil's Desert. We were having parties at Devil's Desert, and then we started partying up at the college. Then we started partying at my parents' house, and then I moved to Calgary, and I started fucking getting wild parties there. And then I finally kind of hit the wall and said, I gotta stop this for a while.
The amount of times, and
Yeah.
this has never happened at my house, or your parents' house, thank fucking Christ.
Yeah.
I've watched our friends go through windows.
Yeah.
Has been ridiculously stupid and crazy.
Yeah.
Like picture window. Oh, there goes one. Like, shit.
Yeah,
I like that. You can't get in the door and jump through the picture window the other way to get in. And like, I've seen some things, man.
Yeah. I heard a story.
Like I've seen us,
I heard a story at a house party. I think it's the one that you're talking about. Is I wasn't at it, but apparently somebody took a shit in the dryer and then turned it on.
You weren't at that party?
No, I wasn't at that party.
You were not at that party?
No, I've heard about it, but I never went to it.
Jesus, talk about things getting out of hand quickly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, apparently that was the thing. I could honestly say I was gone at that time, because when the person said, this person shit in the dryer and then turned it on, I was like, what did I miss? That person was not at the party when I was there. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like literally just started drinking, because we went to that party and it went downhill real fucking quick because like random guy from school showed up and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? Oh, we're gonna do this. I hate this guy. And then like somebody was like, yeah, he shit in the dryer and turned it on. I'm like, that guy wasn't there.
I don't know. I wasn't there for it.
I had the police at my house for that one.
Oh yeah.
I had police at the house for that party. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, and then when they said it, I was like, I didn't even know that guy was there.
Yeah.
And then the cops like, bullshit. I'm like, no, seriously. Like, I don't even think I wasn't there at that time. He goes, yes, you were. And the only saving grace I had that day was the cops got us down by McDonald's, because we did a random stop on the white kids like they used to always do to us. So they stop by and go, what are you assholes doing? And one of our buddies, thank God he's seen him coming. He's seen him coming. He put the bag around the corner and then didn't come around the corner, walked all the way around McDonald's and came around, and the cops like searched all of us, and he didn't have the bag. Instead, I hid the bag and it was all the booze. So then the cops do, and then the cops go, well, we want you to pay for it. I'm paying for nothing, I didn't do anything. And then the cop goes, you were here. I said, no, I wasn't there. And I said, go check with this guy. And they go, oh, and they did. And they had us all.
I think you've lost a lot of the audience here. I don't know if they follow. Go check with this guy, because that was happening there.
The cop,
and the bag was under there, and this guy said that thing there, and this.
No, the cop, because when the cop said what happened, I said I wasn't there. I was there, but I wasn't there. And then I tell him, go check with this cop, because we got stopped at that time with this other cop. And they go, really? They come back. Sorry, man. Like, explain to my dad, who wanted to beat my ass because that house got destroyed. And I was like, whoa. So I was like, thank God those cops stopped a bunch of white kids hanging out at McDonald's.
So needless to say, I think we've had some pretty wild parties in our time.
Oh, my God.
So I got a couple more stories. I don't know what you want to say. Did you happen? Okay. You know New Jack, right?
New Jack, yes. Unfortunately, he has passed.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. So for those that don't know, New Jack, what can you tell me about New Jack?
He was a renegade wrestler he was made famous in ECW.
That's right.
As Paul Heyman said on his his speech to remember him, he was a asshole maniac who was crazy. Who would do anything for the fans. He got himself in some trouble with a underage wrestler that he almost killed.
Mm-hmm. Mass transit.
Yes, he was but if he was he was on your side, he was a really good human being to you.
Well, he actually got to start he was made famous in ECW. He started in Smoky Mountain Wrestling with Jim Cornette. He was the Gangstas. He was part of the Gangstas. Basically, he would piss Southern white guys off by being a black gangster guy, and he was famous for saying stuff like, "Thanks a lot, OJ. 2 more white folks we don't got to care about or worry about."
That one got him.
Yeah,
good for him.
And then he went to ECW. He claims he was the first person to do cocaine before a show, but I think that's a little bit far-fetched. I don't know if this guy's heard of Ric Flair or Randy Savage, but needless to say, he did a lot of cocaine before his shows. There was the mass transit incident. It's probably what he's most famous for is a 16-year-old kid lied about his age to get on the show, did some stuff to piss off New Jack, and New Jack took a scalpel and cut his forehead open and smashed a bunch of stuff over him, and the guy bled like a stuffed pig, ended up in the hospital. They would go to court, and New Jack defended what he did to this person by saying, we were in a wrestling match. I told him all the props I was going to use. He agreed to let me use them on it. And New Jack walked, amazingly enough.
Yeah, no, and that's it, because he forged the kid forged his documents, right? To say he was 18. New Jack,
crazy motherfucker. That's all we can really say.
That's all I can say about him. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
People that I know have seen. One of my buddies, I had said when New Jack had passed, I said, "Oh, an ECW legend died."
Yeah.
And I was kind of reading up on it, and we were on Xbox. And he said, "Who?" And I said, "New Jack." And he said, "Like, get the fuck out of here." And I said, "Do you know New Jack?" And he said, "Yeah." He's like, because he's from Detroit, the Detroit area. He's like, ECW would come up here, once a month or whatever, and I'd go watch them. And New Jack was my favorite guy.
There you go.
So I was like, oh, wow. So he's like, yeah. So he's like, I love New Jack. And to me, it was a good wrestler, but like,
I wouldn't call him a good wrestler by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think he was a good wrestler.
Good performer.
Maybe, yeah. I wouldn't call him a good person either. A lot of people have said he's a good person in the last week or
I'm not going to go Dustin Diamond on this guy.
I'm just going to call it like I say it. I don't want to sugarcoat things. I'm always going to be honest on this show. Maybe not the greatest person at times, but still sad that he's passed away.
All right. You never want to see a guy die, but like he died, but like literally, what was he, 52?
Something like that. Yeah, I know he's older than he seems. He seems younger, but
dude, he lives a good life. Yeah. Like that guy, like back when he was doing cocaine before his shows, was telling people, "I'm doing cocaine before my shows." Like he shouldn't have lived.
Let me ask you this: have you seen the Wrestling with Shadows documentary on him? What's interesting about that is, and all the best wrestlers are like this, is you can't tell where I guess it's Jeremy White or whatever his name is. New Jack and the person who portrays New Jack, you can't tell where one ends and the other begins, because he's telling all these stories and there's not an ounce of remorse in it. And if he was like, yeah, I feel bad about that, or kind of showed a little bit of humanity, it might have detracted from the New Jack character.
I never did. I think because if he ever did, he'd probably become the most depressed human being in the world. He's like, fuck it. Well, he's gone that far now. He's like, I might as well just stick with New Jack.
Yeah. It's interesting. He's old school. I'll say that. He didn't let many people behind that curtain. He always kept that facade up. I think it's a facade. I don't know though. Maybe he is as crazy as he seems.
I think he is as crazy. I think he's that crazy. I just honestly think that's him.
Possibly. With that said, rest in peace, New Jack. It was wild getting to see him while he was around, and that's really all we can say.
That's all we could say about that. Yeah. That's all I got to say about that.
Now, one more. Did you happen to catch the A&E biography on the Ultimate Warrior?
Yes. Okay. So
you saw it. Okay.
So every Sunday, and Jazz, my guy buddy's crazy. So every Sunday we started off watching the first one. Who's the first one again? Stone Cold Piper. Sure. I got the wife to watch one. I said, just watch this A&E one. So the wife and I make a date night on Sundays, 8:00. Put the kid down, and then her and I will watch all the A&Es, and we just PVR, and we just watch them as we go.
Awesome.
The Ultimate Warrior one. By the end of it, like I'm crying. Yeah. I am crying like a wife is like so sad and things to that nature. I thought it was well done. I honestly thought it was very well done.
I will be honest. There is sort of a rival biography going on right now, because the Dark Side of the Ring is planning on putting out their perspective on the Ultimate Warrior this Thursday. And A&E Biography is they've just put out the biography on the Ultimate Warrior this week. So we're going to see two biographies coming out at about the same time.
Yep.
A&E does theirs on Sundays, and Dark Side of the Ring does theirs on Thursdays. When I heard this, I was like, oh, okay, Dark Side of the Ring is going to have a much different perspective. They're going to show a lot of bad stuff. Biography, A&E Biography is going to do a glossier, nicer version. I'll be honest, it was a very fair portrayal in my opinion. I thought that it showed that the Ultimate Warrior, Jim Hellwig, showed Ultimate Warrior was someone that a lot of people respected.
This is something really fucked me up, was like, it's Jim Warrior. It's not Jim Hellwig. It's Jim Warrior. Because his daughter's name is Warrior. And I was like, why is he Warrior? And then I'm like,
he legally changed his name to Warrior, and that's right. And he wants to be known as Jim Warrior. But Jim Hellwig, for the purpose of splitting hairs here, Jim Hellwig is a flawed human being, and they did a great job of showing he had this wound. This wound is what was interesting about this narrative that they crafted out of his career and out of his life. Is Jim Hellwig had this wound that was his upbringing. He was picked on. He developed these muscles to try to overcome that he was this outcast. And he went back to his high school, and he accepted all of the people that were friends with him, and he took them back and said, here's some champagne that he got. And all the people that didn't have anything to do with him, he made them feel like outcasts. And his father left him at a young age, and that was a wound that affected him. And he grew his entire life trying to overcome this. And he had some nastiness that came out. He was not
absolutely, he hated people. Like I thought like, if I would have known that back, like, mind you, we were kids when the Ultimate Warrior was around, so we just loved his promos and things like that. Like, then when they did that Destruction of the Warrior DVD or whatever the fuck it was, we watched it together. I think it was me, you, and Ray watched that together. I watched it with Ray. I watched it with Ray anyways. And then I'm like, okay. And then now, if I would have known, like, he had no father, like all the bad stuff, like the first hour of that biography, I'm like, man, I have so much more respect for him now.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I have. I don't know. I have conflicting views on the Ultimate Warrior, Jim Hellwig or Jim Warrior. I'm not sure that I like him as a person. I like the character that he portrayed, but I think he had some complications in life, and that's sad. He didn't always handle it the best way. He's had some bad choices.
He didn't have anybody to go to and say, what do I do? So he was even said, like, he was a loner. Yeah. Like, so then he's a loner. He doesn't have a father. You know, his mother worked so much to provide for his brothers and sisters. He had nobody.
But okay, let's even revisit this conversation where he goes back to his high school, and the only people he lets be around him are the people that were good to him in high school, and the people that maybe tried to befriend him now, he pushed away. Don't you think that comes from a point of bitterness? Like, he's holding this bitterness with him, even after he's become a success. He can't even let go of that.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Here's the reason why. The guy basically said to him, I will still do it today if I ever get the opportunity. Guys that bullied me or pushed me around in high school, like, I see you out, and like, you're like, hey man, like, no, go fuck yourself. You were a bully in high school. Like, I don't even need you around. I don't care. Like, if you're trying to be nice to me and your kids are around, I'm not going to be like, this guy's a dick. I'm like, hey man, like, fuck off. But like, if we're at a bar drinking and you walk up to me like, hey man, I've done it before. You were a bully in high school. Fuck you. You didn't give me the time then. You called me this, you called me that. Just go away. All he did was take the people that he was friends with and just said, no, just come on over here. You know what? Fuck everybody else. You want to know? And I mean, that's the good thing on him. He took care of the people that's the true friend. Yeah. That's what that is, because he was like, you know what? Fuck you. You gave me a hard time in high school. These guys stood beside me. Now that I'm the WWF champion, or I've made all this money wrestling and I'm worldwide famous, that's what I'm going to stick with, are these guys. My buddies. How you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. I've been on the road. Everything good with the wife and kids. I appreciate that more than I do. Like, that's a stud move.
I'll agree 100% that there's sort of like a double-edged sword to him. And he's always seemed a very loyal friend. You hear about when he talks about guys like Randy Savage, when it was not cool to say good things about Randy Savage, he always said he's a great guy. Nothing that anybody ever said. There's been bad things said about Randy Savage. He says, not true. Great person, wonderful human being. Had nothing but great things to say about Randy Savage. Then someone like Hulk Hogan, he's always held on to that bitterness. He's held a grudge, and that's the one.
But Hulk Hogan, you just said it perfectly. Hulk Hogan. Nobody likes Hulk Hogan, man. It's coming out now. The guy's a dick. Like he's fucked over
right.
wrestling companies. Not gonna work for me, brother. Like if you want to go that deep, like I can go all day with that stuff. But like he's like the Ultimate Warrior hated him and even said I hate Hulk Hogan. Everybody's like, oh, don't say that. He's the hand that feeds. Now that nobody can make money off, like you can still make money off Hulk Hogan, but you can't make money off Hulk Hogan now. Like he's not your breadwinner. Like he's not the top guy. People are like, he's a dick. It's not going to work for me, brother. Like things like that. Like it's not going to work.
I'll agree. I'm not saying that it's wrong of him to hold a grudge against people who wronged him. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying there seems to be an underlying current on that entire narrative that Biography did, that he held on to a lot of bitterness until the very end, and then he was able to let go of it and grow and become a whole person, which is great. There's a lot of other things, though, that maybe that wound that I mentioned doesn't excuse, like when he got in front of a college and started saying things like queering doesn't make the world work. That's not easy to forget.
Okay,
that still makes him a bad person.
He could have, he doesn't understand things. Like, I'm not homophobic, but like, and I'm not defending what he said because he said it horribly wrong. But like, if you're gay, you need us to procreate to make more people for you to be gay with. Like you need straight people to make gay people. So like you can't hate. But like what he said was totally ignorant and off. And then his wife standing behind him and saying that, like, but then that's another thing too, is like he went crazy with Rush Limbaugh, right? Like far right radio, this is it. And it happens to the left, and the left does it too. They go, this is what's going to happen and this, and fuck Trump and all this. And I'm like, yeah, you guys fall into do your own research.
I will say that if he was around today, and even a few years ago, I know he was around, but if he was a little more active on social media, and he was one of the first guys to be active on social media, but he sort of let that dwindle in his later years. But if he had softened some of those edges, I think he would have been a very powerful voice on the right-wing side of things. I think so too. He was, I actually had followed a lot of Warrior's blogs and his social media early on when social media was starting to come out. And the truth is I was interested in a lot of the things he said, because he's very pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Yeah. And that's very admirable. And that's the sort of thing that's very inspirational to read. But then he got into things like when wrestlers passed away, he would say, well, they were nothing but a drug addict loser or something terrible about.
No. And to be honest, like his drug of choice, and like the wife even made a comment. The wife made a comment last night, was like, what, he didn't do cocaine with Shawn Michaels? No, and I think so. Like, let's think about that for a second, though. The Shawn Michaels, though, we love. Yeah. We know like he's what Shawn Michaels has gone through, and there's no reference to drugs at all. Like with everybody else before, I think there was, well, except Stone Cold, obviously, but there was drugs involved.
There was definitely references to drugs on Shawn Michaels' biography.
No, but everybody else, but there was no mention on Warriors. Oh, you know what I mean? Okay. So like you watch Pipers and Machos and HBKs, and there's drug references.
He did,
but steroids.
Yeah. Okay.
Steroids, obviously. Yeah. No, he was all natural. Yeah.
Sure,
okay.
Sure.
No, but like there was no like heavy alcohol, because then people were like, there was a part where it's like, hey, do you have any stories on the road? Like he was a lone wolf, man. He kind of did his own thing. He wasn't like, he didn't want to hang out. And I think that was his problem, was he was watching guys like cocaine and partying and all this. And he's like, nope, not for me. I got to hit the gym and do my steroids. Like, he obviously had his own vices, but.
Well, I think he did do a little bit of partying. I've heard stories of him doing GHB, which is a bodybuilding drug. And I mean, if you watch some of his promos, it's hard to believe they weren't cocaine fueled at times, at least a little bit.
If he wasn't on cocaine, I think I know how they made cocaine out of his blood. Like, Jesus Christ.
With that said, I mean, my takeaway from this, I thought the biography was good. I thought it did an interesting portrayal of an imperfect person, and that's the best that I can say.
So my thing now is that with obviously A&E being part of the Peacock umbrella, if you guys didn't know that, NBC owns A&E, so they made all these wrestling biographies to get more people to buy Peacock to get more eyes on it. Dark Side of the Ring is going to release their version of the Ultimate Warrior on Thursday, as you said.
It'll be interesting to see. That is not a WWE product, by the way.
Yes, Jim's White. What's not a WWE product? Dark Side of the Ring.
Dark Side of the Ring is not a WWE produced.
So Jim Hellwig's wife came out and said she's not happy with the way it came out. So I guess she's got an early viewing of it, and is not happy with what's coming out on Thursday.
Let's go on. She's not happy about it. That's I kind of expect that.
But my thing is that like the Korean they're using only certain wrestlers because that's the only wrestlers they can get.
Those are the ones that they probably can make money off of, is what I would say.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like when you're over when they're doing the Korea one, which I'm going to probably watch tonight. And
Dark Side of the Ring. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the A&E biography. They're doing Dark Side of the Ring is doing stories on things that are interesting to really hardcore fans is really what I find.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly what it is. But like
A&E biography is doing it more on who WWE can make money off of or market.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying is like Dark Side of the Ring is going to find wrestlers who probably don't like Warrior who are going to bury him. And there's probably going to be a couple of lies in there from what I'm hearing from Jim's wife. And she's already released a statement saying that's nothing is true on this one. Like Dark Side of the Ring's got to be careful because if she goes to Vince McMahon and says, you probably just made $10 million off that biography, I'm going to need you to help me out. Vince McMahon will bury those bastards.
I'm not sure that Vince McMahon has the money to bury HBO. But I will say this. One thing that I agree that you sort of circled around is it was interesting seeing, Dana Warrior, Warrior's kids, whose names I forget right now. They all started this biography by saying, it's time to tell the whole truth. There's good and bad in this story, and I want it all out there. So they've done a very honest portrayal of. They
did a great portrayal. And I think you and the other guys talked about the Macho Man one. Is that right? Yeah. I think and Powerful came out. I was going to double back on that one because I was afraid what was going to happen with the Macho Man one. They didn't cover shit I wanted to hear about. I wanted to hear the rumors that I have heard that you have heard about him and a McMahon, and I wanted to hear like that shit, and I knew it wasn't going to happen.
That's more for Dark Side of the Ring.
Exactly. But like I was looking for like that, and then when they didn't cover it, and then Palfo, his brother, the Genius, came out and said he didn't do steroids. I'm like, so you're telling me he didn't do steroids?
I think that they did say he did steroids on that documentary.
They did, and then Genius came out, Powerful came out with a statement and said that they didn't do it. WWE's lying. He never got caught doing steroids. He's never done steroids in his life. It's just a big joke, and I kind of laughed about it.
I find that, I don't know. I seem to recall Lanny Poffo saying he did steroids, and I don't know.
No, but you can Google it. It's a true fact. As I was reading about it, because then I was afraid with the Warrior stuff. And to me, it seemed all right. Like to me, it was the Shawn Michaels one was perfect, and I think that it was all good. But we're going to see what the Dark Side's going to do. Yeah. And like, I don't know. I'm interested to see where this goes.
Yeah. Well, like I said, before I saw this documentary, I was more interested in seeing the Dark Side of the Ring documentary because I thought it would be more truthful. But after seeing the A&E biography, I'm actually really impressed with how well it turned out.
What do you want? Yeah. So, man, what do you want to see out of the Dark Side?
Oh, I want to see all the stuff that biography didn't want to touch.
Like, give me an example. So, like.
Well, that's the thing is, here's the thing. Having gone into it thinking that Dark Side of the Ring is going to touch all the stuff that biography won't, now that I've seen it, I'm impressed that biography, A&E biography, they did touch in on. I knew about him going to a college and saying queering doesn't make the world work. I remember that story broke and watching a video of it happening. The self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, I thought they'd try to gloss over that, and they went head on and addressed it. So it's going to be hard for the Dark Side of the Ring to top what A&E has already done. I think that when WWE heard that Dark Side of the Ring is going to be sort of piggybacking off of their biography by making a similar one at the same time, I think A&E said, we got to make sure we beat them to the punch. And they hit everything that Dark Side of the Ring was going to do. And they managed to spin it in a way that still makes Warrior look good at the end.
Well, let's see what's going to happen, man. I'm excited. I am very, very, very excited.
I'm excited too. with that said, I think we're done for the day. Do you got anything else?
I got nothing else, my friend. We are done.
All right,